Hello, good evening everyone. We're not that many people tonight, so I'll ask you to closer. We're not scaring you. Well, I hope you're not. But this way everyone can hear something like that. I was thinking.
Fantastic. Can everyone hear me fine?
Yeah.
Yes, loud and clear? Fantastic. As you can see, we've got a QR code here. What's it for? It will generate basically a survey, all right, on which Kellyanne will base his demonstration based on your answers as to what you want to see demonstrated. And so we'll quick survey, and then after I do a bit of a chit chat, he will come in and demo the solution to you guys. Quick question here: who already knows Odoo? Who's already seen it? Who's everyone? Good stuff. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna start. Everyone scanned it. Now, what's gonna happen is that I will do a let's get that one. First of all, obviously I'd like to thank our partners who sponsored this event, Numna and Tiger Integrations here. They'll obviously be delighted to speak with you guys afterwards. So for today's agenda, we will have a quick discussion about what Odoo is as a platform, as a software, and as a company. We'll quickly delve into Odoo's value proposition, then Kellyanne will take center stage for a demo. We'll have a couple of points then. We'll go into the concrete where Target and Numna will be on stage discussing a couple of topics that we think could be of interest for you guys. Then we'll have a customer of ours here to discuss about his project, how the implementation went, and we'll finish with a Q&A session. What we'll probably do is skip the Q&A and directly go downstairs in order to have a couple of drinks and discuss. But obviously any questions you want to ask our partners or ourselves, feel free to do so. Now, like I said, we all know what Odoo is, but Odoo is a beautiful all-in-one management software. All right, so it's modular-based, as you know, where we hope to be able to provide an app for every need. Now, in terms of Odoo's value prop, if you know about Odoo, you most likely will have seen what's coming. We realized that on average, there's around 14 platforms, softwares, applications that are used to run a business. Obviously, you know most of the names that are here. They are great pieces of software in their own vertical or sector. Zendesk is fantastic for ticketing and help desk, etc. All these different softwares are great, but they're not integrated, right? So what you see in those little white lines can be seen as two things. Either it's an actual connector between all of these different platforms, which takes time to develop. It takes obviously a bit of money to develop, but most of all, it adds a layer of complexity. And if you are, a company where you've got these types of apps that are used and connected to each other, there is a real need for a team behind to actually maintain that in time. Right? It can also be seen, if they are not integrated, these white lines can be seen as manual actions made by individual people, employees, for example, export data, re-import into the system, which obviously, again, takes a huge amount of time. Now, what we aim to do, hopefully, is to provide everyone an all-in-one solution, which is, I do not like the word, I would say, generic, where we aim to cover around 80 to 90% of any business needs. And then based on your project, either Odoo can implement it directly or our network of partners. You then have the complete flexibility to build anything around the base layers of Odoo to tailor it to your needs. Kilian, take center stage. Like I said, this will be an interactive demonstration book. So you will be asked a couple of questions via your smartphones. Based on the answers, Kilian will go away.
Thank you very much, James. Should I go back on the QR code or is it fine?
Yes.
Yeah. There. So for the ones who don't know how it works, it is linked to the survey application or module of Odoo, which is free to use. And it basically links all the answers, all the inputs that people want to share with you. And today we're just going to use it for the demonstration. So we will ask you some questions, and depending on the flow you would like to see, I'll just try at least to go into the database and show the flow. All good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Perfect. Sweet. So we have 21 attendees. Great. So as an introduction for today, we're going to build our own company. It is going to be a furniture company. And the first question of the day is, how do we start? Are we going for a business website or are we going for an online store? Okay, so online store takes the lead. No. I'll wait a little bit more. We don't have to all answer the question, of course. So, it will be mostly on the website application and e-commerce. So I'll go for the online store. Perfect. So the first step, if you want to build a website, is of course to go on odoo.com. As soon as you log in, or you can of course stay as a guest, you can simply create your own database. So it's very easy to do. I'm just going to zoom in. Can you, in the back, can you see the screen correctly? Yeah? Perfect. So you simply need to click on Start Now, and then you get on this page where you can select all the applications you would like to try. Odoo gives you a 15 days trial, so for the ones who have never tried Odoo yet, that's the way to go. And for the first flow, we'll have the website and e-commerce. So as soon as I click on those modules, I can create my own database. Just add my name here, test. There we go. And we can start the creation of your database. So welcome to Odoo. And this is one of the major changes between the V14 and the V15. We have now a configurator, which is super easy to use. So in a few clicks, you can basically build your own website. So that's exactly what we do now. The first question Odoo asks you is what type of business would you like to have? And most of you, of course, answer the question of the online store. As I said, we go for a furniture store. And our main objective for today, of course, is to sell more products. Then you can change, you can choose, of course, the color, or just pick your own logo. If you want to modify the color or change the theme or add some more features and pages, you can still do it at a later stage. Okay? So you're not blocked or locked on those settings. So just add some more features here, appointment, privacy policy, and off we go. Now we build a website. We select, of course, the theme. The theme, like I said, you can change it at a later stage. I'm just going to go for the first one here. And then you just need to wait a few seconds, depending on the Wi-Fi connection. So I hope the one of the hotel is working well. And then you'll see the result. It's really nice, as you can really select the type of business you would like to have. So Odoo is going to automatically select some images. And here we are. So that's the website we have. And you can already see on the right hand side of the screen, all the blocks that you can drag and drop. So it's a website builder. You can really just click on one of those blocks and drop it into the home page. And we can scroll down, so I'm just showing you all the by default blocks. And in order to make it, let's say, a little more specific for a furniture company, I'm just going to modify the information that we have on the screen. So the first thing to do for us, of course, is to change maybe this text. Furniture store. There we go. You can basically modify every single words, images, layout, whatever that you see on the screen can be modified with this tool. You don't need to have a big IT background. I have never studied IT in my life, but I'm able to build a website with a builder. So now that we have a new name, I'm just going to change the color. Super easy as well. There we go. And I also want to change this here. Let's go for the style, custom style. And we just pick the same color as above. Perfect. Now, what you see on the screen is, of course, a television. So you could think it's a multimedia web shop. The aim, of course, is to be more accurate. As soon as someone gets on the website, you know exactly that they are on a furniture website. And if you click on replace, you can basically access a media database. If you don't have any pictures for your website, and just type in a keyword, and you have well, a lot of images, illustrations, animations that you can just pick for your own website. I'm just going to take that one for today. Perfect. I can, of course, change the position of the picture. You can add some filters if you want to. Once again, it's very, very easy to customize well, everything. And you can also use your own pictures. Okay, so if you want to upload your own pictures, videos, etc., super easy to do as well. I forgot to apply. That's one of the mistakes I still make at Odoo. I forget to save or apply. So apply, and now it's perfect. Okay, maybe another feature that I would like to show you, which is quite nice for the ones having their own code, HTML code. You can drag and drop a block, which is this one here. It's pretty cool. So we drag and drop. I'm just going to go lower, maybe. Yes. So we have this embed code. Drag and drop it here, okay? And we're going to simply add our own code, right? So I'm just going to replace this. I'm not a developer, so I need to copy paste something from another page. And it's right here. Yes, perfect. Okay, so back on our database. I'm just going to edit the code and copy paste the code, which is here. Perfect. Save. And now you see that we have a new feature. Okay, so you can basically put whatever you would like to have as a custom code. Now you have selected the feature of an online store, so you have seen we can modify pretty much everything on the home screen. Let's now go into the shop, so which is the e-commerce. And for this, I'm just going to go on another database that I have created for today. It's going to be pretty much exactly the same website. So we go on our website. This is the back end. Now we're back into the front end, and we go into our shop. Okay. So these are all the products we sell in our furniture business, and we have a brand new desk, which is on the left-hand side of the screen. And I would like to make it look a little bit more interesting and appealing to the people going on my website. So once again, I just click here on Edit, and I'm going to change a bit the way we can see the product. So this is, let's say, we can call it like a flagship product. We would like to enhance it on the website. So there we go, change the size, and then might be a little bit too big. I'm not a web designer either, so what we can, oh, that's also a really nice feature. We can add some badges. So it could be a sale, it could be sold out, it could be out of stock. But you can also have your own badge, a custom badge, so don't miss it, or have a look at this amazing product. For today, I'm just going to take sales, and of course, you can change the color of it. Let's take purple, which is an amazing color, of course. You can save. And now we have a modified screen for the products. If we go into the product, once again, you can really change whatever you would like. This is pretty basic, it's by default. But if I want to add, let's say, a comparison block to compare the features of multiple desks I have, I can take my block here of features, drag and drop it, and start to edit everything that you see. Once again, same thing, if you want to change the picture, double click on the image. Oh, this is not a picture, it's an icon, sorry. We can go for image. Let's say I want to have desk. We have more pictures of desk. Good. So this is it, we have a website. Now we can move on to the second question, which is, we have now a website, people are talking about us, but the sales are not taking off. What should we do? Should we optimize something on our website, or do we need a CRM to do some proper prospection and start the sales cycle? So for optimizing the website, we will use our new SEO tool. And for the CRM, I'll just go into a standard Odoo flow, which starts on the website. Then we go into the CRM. If I still have time at the end of the presentation, I can eventually show you the other one. But it looks like the SEO is going to win this question. So let's go for it. We go back on the website. You doesn't have to go back onto the home page. You can simply now click on promote, and then we're going to optimize the SEO. When you optimize the SEO, you need to find a title, description, but you also need to work on keywords. Now, I only have the language of English today, but if you have a website with multiple languages, you can of course have your own keywords in French, German, Italian, Dutch, etc. So we have an online store. So I'm just going to use this title, Discord, or amazing desks, for example. Come and join our online community. And then I'm going to add some keywords such as desk, for example, add furniture. And then of course we can also pick a picture, same as before. Talking about desks, so I'm just going to take a nice desk picture. There we go. And now we really see the the example, or just you can basically see what people are likely to see when they look for your website using those keywords. So that's another feature of the V15. We hadn't this before the V14, so that's quite nice to have. Good, now we can move on to the third question. So we have our salespeople are wasting time managing data. So how are we going to help them today? You have the possibility between going for collaborative work with the Discuss app, or going for appointments directly on the website. Both features are quite amazing, quite new as well. Especially Discuss on the left side. I don't want to influence your answers, of course. And if you have more questions at the end of the demonstration, you can of course come to me. I can present you a flow on the spot. If you absolutely wanted to see the other answer, I don't want to have any frustrations today. So we go for the online appointment. Once again, we go back on our website, and we can see here we have a category which is appointment. So this is the front end. So this is basically the screen that your customers or members or people going on the website will see. And we have for today at least 2 types of appointments. You can schedule a demonstration, and then you can also schedule a design appointment. Those 2 appointments are different. Why? Because we have one appointment which is to schedule a demo, where you basically just schedule an appointment with someone of the company. We don't really know the name, etc. You have the duration of the call, the location of the call, some description as well. Once again, you can see that you can edit the screen. So if you want to change the colors, add some blocks, it's perfectly possible. Another feature which is important to share with you today is that this calendar is perfectly synced with Gmail or Outlook. Okay, so at Odoo, for example, we have the second type of appointment. You can take an appointment with a salesperson, and you can even select the salesperson you would like to work with. So maybe to pick another example, I have one of my customers. They have a medical cabinet with a lot of doctors, let's say, like that, experts, and you can really pick the person you would like to have an appointment with. So it's pretty easy as well. I'm going to select Olivia for today. I'm available. Sorry. Well, tomorrow, and I have all those time slots. Those time slots, once again, are perfectly synchronized with Olivia's calendar. Okay. So we go for the appointment at 10 a.m. I can fill in my name, my phone number. There we go. Symptoms, it's because it was an example of the American sector, so apologies. You don't have symptoms when you want to buy a desk or a chair, or maybe you have. We confirm the appointment, and that's another nice screen where you can add it directly as a customer this time, so you're not the person giving, let's say, the presentation, demonstration, or whatsoever. You're really the customer that you can add it to your Outlook calendar, or even cancel the appointment if you have an issue. And that's it. Now I can show you how does it look like in the backend. Okay, so now you will see the view of your own employees. To go into the appointments, we need to go back into the website module, and we click on configurations, online appointments, and we can really see the two appointments we have. Let's say that the person in charge of the demonstrations is sick. You don't have to go back into your front end, modify everything. You can simply click here on publish. Very easy to do. Okay. And then if you want to see the appointments that have been scheduled with you, then you can click on schedule. And now we see we have the appointment of Killian. If I click on it, I have more information. The location, who's the person he decided to work with. You can see it's Olivia. And you can, of course, edit the appointments directly in your backend. There we go. Perfect. Now the question number 4. We need to recruit. The business is booming, so you have to choose between a consultant, experienced developer, or a community manager. Don't worry for the question. Whatever you select, it's going to be the same flow because it's just going to be a recruitment flow. Yeah, let's see what's the answer. Looks like we need a consultant. Maybe a dev. Yes. Okay, well, let's go for the consultant. We are back in our database. This time we start again from the dashboard. We have this recruitment application where you can basically create any type of job positions you would like to offer to the world. These are all the job positions we have. It's the same logic with publish and publish. If you have found enough consultants, you can just unpublish the job ad. You also see, of course, if you have new applicants, so that's quite easy to see. For the ones that never use Odoo, this search bar with filters, group by, favorites, it's always there. In all the applications, you will be able to filter, group by, and have some favorites. So if you have a big HR team, with 2 big groups, the one focusing on consultants and the other ones focusing on developers, they can have, of course, a view by default, just by saving the search and having it as by default. So we're talking about a consultant here. This is what people will see on the website. So once again, you can modify everything, change the colors, add some pictures, add some blocks. If someone gets on this page and would like to apply, super easy to do. Once again, you click here on apply now, and the person has to fill in a form. Okay, it's the same form. I mean, it's the same mechanic than the appointments or fill in a form for the prospection with the CRM, but this time it's for job application. So I'm just going to apply for the job. Well, no need for a short introduction. I'm just going to upload a file so that you can see what's the result in the backend. And we are going to take the resume of Hannah. There we go. Now we submit. Cool. And as I'm an HR officer, I would like to see what are the new applications, applicants in the recruitment application. I see now I have one new application. I click on it and I can directly see that I have a new application from Killian. This is a Kanban view. It's personally my favorite view, but you have other views as well. You can have a list view, you can have a graph view, calendar view, pivot table. We will talk about a pivot table in a few minutes. But yeah, my favorite is Kanban view. It's very clear to see where we stand, and you can also do some drag and drop. So if Killian needs to go into the first interview, you can just simply drag and drop it. It's very easy to do, okay? What type of information do we have in this file? Well, all the information that the applicant gave to us. So we have the attached file, which is the resume, so you will find it directly, and we have also all the fields that you need to fill in for an application. Could be the name, expected salary, the job he's applying for. If there is an appreciation, you can also use the stars, you can use some tags, etc. What's really cool with this feature is that towards the end, so let's say that Killian passed successfully all the interviews, you can of course propose a contract. We also have a module for this. I didn't install it for today, but you can create your own salary configurator. And then if the person signs a contract, you can directly create the employee. So that's super easy to do as well. Okay. Once again, everything is integrated. If Killian becomes an employee, you can directly, of course, assign him to tasks in the projects, let him work on MRP, flows, marketing, sales, etc. Perfect. Now the next question. So we have recruited enough consultants. The business is booming again. We need to be more efficient in our operations. So what would you like to optimize for today? We can do some project management, we can have some warehouse management, or MRP process, which is manufacturing. This is my favorite question because it's big modules behind it that provides you with a lot of features. Project management. Are we going to need more? Okay. All good. So we go for some project management. Same as with recruitment application, we have one specific application for the project. Before we get into the module, you also need to know that the timesheet here is perfectly linked with the project, because if you start to, let's say, work with consultants, they're likely to timesheet their hours on the project. So those are two separate modules, but they communicate together. If we go into the project management sheet, we have all the projects. Same as before, you can filter, group by, have your favorites. The one we are going to work in today is the office design. So I'm just going to click on it, but before I do this, I just want to show you the configurations of the office design. So this is sort of the back end of my project. We have all those smart buttons on the upper part of the screen. For the ones who don't know the smart buttons, it's typically a link to another application. I compare this to a control tower at the airport. It really gives you a 360 view in a few clicks of what already happened on the project. You can see the amount of tasks you have, how many hours have been recorded on the project, if you have POs that are linked to the project, expenses, etc. We also have, and I won't have time to do this today, but we have, I don't have the accounting module here, sorry. But you can also link analytical accounting to your projects, okay? So to be sure, what are your margins, etc. Now that you have seen the screen, so that's really the configurations, the settings, we can get into the more nice view of the project. So the office design, once again, I've selected the Kanban view, but you have all the other views here. We'll have a look at the Gantt view, which is quite new in the V15. Works the same way as before with the drag and drop. These are tasks, and all the tasks that you see are in some stages. So if you want to make an extra stage, super easy to do. In progress, let's say, validation. So that's a brand new stage, and I'm just going to drag and drop it between those two other stages. You can just simply take the task and off you go. How does it look when you have a task? So this is a task in Odoo where you have, well, of course, the project's name, who's the person which is assigned to the project. You can also assign more people. So we have an internal training here given by Killian, but it's going to be held by Fabien. You can plan the date, add a deadline, add some tags. That's also really nice. In Odoo, you can have as many tags as you want, depending on your industry, sector, the way you like to work. And then we have all the timesheets, so that these are all the hours that people have spent on the task itself. The subtask is also a nice feature, and then we have the block by, the task interdependencies. And this is something we didn't have before in Odoo, which is great. You can see the result on the Gantt view. On the right hand side of the screen, we have the chatter. For the ones, is anyone in the room doesn't know what is a chatter in Odoo? Have you all seen this part of Odoo? It's like a history of what happened in this task. Every single screen, every single page in Odoo has its own chatter. So whatever you put in the chatter, it will stick to the page. So if we were to log some notes, maybe I need the help of a colleague, I can just ask for some help from James. Can you help me, please? And James, which is a user of Odoo, will receive a notification. If he clicks on the notification, he gets immediately on the screen. What else can you do in the chatter? You can, of course, send some messages. Now, in this case, it's not very interesting, but we can have a case where you have a quotation, for example. So you send out messages to a customer, and then we can also schedule some activities. This is probably the tool I use the most at Odoo, activities. And what's nice with the activity, you can also assign activities to your lovely colleagues, okay? For the ones that are sometimes not very focused or that forget maybe to do something, you can just simply assign them tasks. So for today, I'm just going to assign a task for myself. You have a bunch of, by default, activities. You're not forced to use them. You can also have your own activities, depending, once again, your company, your needs, etc. Add a note and we schedule it. Okay, if you have the meeting one, yes, you have it. So if you click on the meeting activity, you can even open it in your calendar. Okay, once again, if you have it in your Odoo calendar, you can access it through your Outlook or Gmail calendar. Just a to-do, we schedule our activity, which is here, and when it's done, we can have a small feedback done, and we click on done once again. But it sticks to the chatter. Okay, at any point you can come back. And then on top of that, we also have this amazing following feature, which is, well, once again, amazing for managers because it's like Instagram and Facebook, you can follow what's happening in a chatter. So let's say you have assigned a salesperson on a specific task, specific quotation, but you're not the one in contact with the customer itself. You can just simply follow what's happening in the chatter, and you can even decide what type of let's say information you would like to receive. Is it only for discussions? Should I get a notification when the task is blocked, when it's ready, when it's in progress, etc., etc., etc. For the activity here, you can click on the clock. If you're a bit lost, you start your day, you don't know what to do, you click on the clock and you have a drop-down menu with all the applications of Odoo with the tasks, the ones in the future, for today, or the one where you're too late. And the other cool thing I want to show you regarding those projects is the Gantt view, because we talked about the task interdependencies. So this is a really nice view that we have since V15, where you can see the link between every single task. Okay, so if let's say one of our employees, let's say Olivia, for example, is sick, and we need to switch the task from one employee to the other, very easy to do. We simply click on the task and we drag and drop it. You can also see the arrows. The gray arrows means that, I mean, it's perfectly fine for the planning because it follows the block by features. But for this specific task, we can see that Odoo warns us with a small triangle, which is red, that says that at this specific moment, the person you have assigned to the task has already something else to do. So I'm just going to make on purpose something which is not going to be nice for Odoo, you see. And now we have a red arrow. So if we have a red arrow, we immediately understand that this is not possible because we should basically work on the black chair before doing the meeting. Oops. Okay, so this is a weekly view. You can also have a view for the months, by year, or also by day, if you have big plannings during the days. And then the last feature I would like to show with the projects is the On Track button. Once again, this is something that is brand new with the V15. So if you click on Track, you can access, how to call it, maybe a proper dashboard where you have, once again, all those smart buttons, but you also have the milestones. So you can really make your own milestones, create them. I can maybe click on one of them. The latest one, which is here. We have a summary, we can see the activities. You also have a chatter for the milestone. We have a percentage for the progress, the status, etc. Cool. So this is it for the project features. And we move on to the next question. Okay, so we have employees, and they're happy, but they are overloaded with work. Which process should we automate? You have 3 options here: data cleaning, expenses recording, or document digitization. I think we will go for the document application, yes. Cool, so we are back in the database once again, and we are going to open the document application. Now, if we speak about documents, we also should consider the e-sign module. Once again, those two modules are perfectly linked together. How does it look like? This is our document application. It's like an office, basically, where you have all the workspaces. And we have by default workspaces here. You can have your own workspaces, and for specific workspaces, you can even have some subcategories. For example, you see the arrow next to marketing. It means that we have 2 sub workspaces. We have a marketing for brand 1. We will also have a workspace for brand number 2. First thing I want to show is, of course, the fact that you can share some documents with people outside of your company. So people inside your company, they will directly go on the document application. Oh yeah, that's also something which is nice. The resume here, if we need to discuss the resume outside of the recruitment application, you can simply click on it, and you also have a chatter for the resume. What can you do with the document? You can rename it, you can add a contact to the document. So if you were to go on the contact form, you will directly see that that specific contact has many types of documents linked to its contact form. You can also have some owners, of course, a workspace, and then you also have the possibility to add some tags and actions. For example, you don't see the application, the action here because it's for an application, but if we have a lost invoice, for example, we could put an action and say, okay, this has to be processed by our accounting team. Now let's share one of these documents. You can whether share one document or a full workspace. If you have some joint projects with people outside the company. So let's just take maybe, for example, or there is no document here. The finance, which is not likely to be shared, of course, outside of the company, but let's do it as an example. So we have a bunch of documents here, and we can simply click on share. And when we click on this button, we have to generate an URL. If we copy paste the URL, I'm just going to exit my full screen and I'll show you how does it look like. That's what the person who receives the URL will have this type of screen, and will be able, of course, to download the documents that you have decided to share with them. Okay. You only see PDF files here for today, but you can also work with Word, Excel, CSV. Name it, you can have plenty of documents on this specific page. Not to confuse, don't be confused, of course, for the ones knowing the customer portal. It's not the same at all. This is really purely to share some documents. Okay, it's not to share the quotations, invoices, etc. This is something maybe I can show you at a later stage. So we go back into our documents. There we go. And I would like to show you another example with the e-sign module, which is right here. We use it a lot at Odoo, especially to sign, for example, NDAs. Now, for today's example, we are going to upload another type of document. which is an employment contract. So basically it's a contract that we will send to our potential candidates if they have succeeded all the interviews. So it's just a PDF, okay, or a Word document. And you can already see on the left side of the screen that you can once again drag and drop some blocks. So you basically need to drag and drop the blocks where you want them to sign something or fill in information. Could be a phone number, could be for anything basically. Even if you want to send them a document for subscription, for example, if you want to gather a lot of information. So I'm just going to take 2 blocks for now. The contract is made between Stealth Booth, and so we need a name here. There we go. Very easy to use once again. You can also work on the size. There it is, and then you can also select who's the person. For the ones in the back, maybe I need to go a little bit more like this. You can also select who is going to fill in this file. If you have multiple people that needs to go on the document, you can of course select this is for a company, this is for a customer, HR responsible, etc., etc. You don't need to send it just to one people. You can really send it to a wide range of people. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it like that with the name. This is for the customer. There we go. And then, I'm not going to add all the blocks. Maybe the most important one is the signature here. There we go. And when you're happy with the doc, you can simply send the document to one of your customers. So this is typically the list of our contact list in Odoo, but if you have just a brand new email, you don't need to go back into the contact application. You can simply add it here. Let's say Liam Nissan, which is a very famous person here, I suppose, and you can just send the document to Liam. Okay. You can of course add a document, you can add some messages, and you can also attach a file, which is important. Okay. We have a lot of features regarding this with Odoo. If you send some templates, you can also have files in the templates. That's correct. Perfect. And once it's signed, of course, you will have the document here with a green V check, and you also get a notification that says that you have received the signed document. Perfect. Now we move on to the next question. Okay, so this is typically a question we will. So we asked you the question for AutoStudio. So we have an activity which is growing, and our needs they become more detailed. We need to add some more information, change the reports. So literally make some small customizations on Odoo itself, the database. Okay, so we will go for some POs. Maybe the first thing we need to make a clear difference between customizations and development. So what I will do now is purely customization. It's not a proper development with some code. And for this we use AutoStudio, which is to me one of the greatest modules of Odoo. I'm not an expert in AutoStudio, to be honest. I'm not an analyst, I'm not a consultant. I'm just a sales guy showing you how it works. But it gets very, very complex, to be honest. And what people can do with AutoStudio is literally magical sometimes. So we have selected to go on the PO, so the purchase order. So I'm just going to go into the purchase module. And we pick just one random PO. This one, for example. Perfect. And we can activate AutoStudio by clicking here on the icon with the tools. And as soon as you click on the icon, have a look at the left-hand side of the screen. You have all those blocks. Once again, you've seen a lot of drag and drop. I'm sorry, I repeat myself with the drag and drop today, but that's basically how easy it is. So you can simply select one of the blocks and start to customize the views that you have in Odoo. So to pick a good example, we have a PO, we have a relationship with some vendors, but we never really know what is going to be the total amount. Of course, it's here, but we would like to have sort of an estimation of the amount that it might cost. So for this, I'm just going to take one of the blocks here, which is monetary. We click on it, and we drag and drop on the specific view. As soon as you drag and drop the block, you need, of course, to give it a name, which is a label here. So estimated cost, for example, and I'm also going to take another one. Now, you can of course make it even more complex by putting, for example, conditions. So this basically a few seconds, and now we have a new field. What happens now to the other POs? Well, it's not because you do it on one PO that it sticks to the same PO. If we were to duplicate the same PO, very easy to do, we now have again here the estimated cost. Okay. For the explanation I gave you before with sending a message, now it would directly send a message, of course, to the vendor here. So easy to do, or it's a very, very quick message, or you can just have a proper message, of course, and then you can also select the template. I don't know if I have templates here. Yes, we have. So we have 3 templates here for today. I would say I use it a lot, especially in Belgium, because we have Dutch customers, we have French customers. So depending on the language of the vendor or the customer, you can simply click on the template, and off we go. We have now here a template which is made by default. But even if you click on the template, you can still continue, of course, to change all the information on it. And now we have also the PO which is attached. If I click on send, same mechanic as before, we have all the information that sticks to each other. Okay? If you decide to put the purchase on hold, but you get back 6 months later for the same vendor, you can literally see what has been discussed before. Okay? Even if it's from the past. Perfect. We move on to the next question, which is the last one. And for this specific question, I would like to well, maybe gather all the options and show you the spreadsheet integration we have in Odoo, because that's also a really nice and cool feature of Odoo. So I'm just going to go directly into the database. We also use a document application for this. So I don't know for the ones that you might have seen it before. So if you go into the document application, you have here the possibility to create a spreadsheet. So if I click on create a spreadsheet, I can of course multiple templates already that are proposed by Odoo, or you can just simply start from scratch with a blank template. So it's not Excel, it's a spreadsheet on Odoo. You have also the formulas, you can change text, you can make some calculation, etc. But what's really cool, it's what you will see now. We need to make some specific reports on our salespeople, because we have a commission plan and we need to know exactly what are the commissions we need to pay for the salespeople. So for this I have prepared one of a pivot table, very easy. So we go in the sales application. These are all my quotations, so if I remove the filter, I have all the quotations of everyone. It would be too complicated for me to go into each line and calculate the commission, of course. So what we will do is simply click on reporting and then on sales. We have a few graphs here, of course. No, that's not exactly what I wanted to show. What I want to show is this pivot table here. A pivot table by default, but what I did is, of course, as I'm watching this screen maybe every day or every week, I have selected a favorite view, which is just my sales analysis for the Q2. If I click on it, I have my analysis, which is already done, where I have all my salespeople for every month with a total, etc. If you want to add some more measures, super easy to do as well. You click on measures and you add maybe the amount of discounts that they gave, so that you can see who's giving the most discount to the customer, the gross weight, the volume, for example. Maybe you can really put a lot of information here. If you want to invert, of course, the axis or flip it, they're easy to do. Just flip it like that. If you want to add some more information, so like, okay, James here did some sales, but what are the customers that he worked with? You can simply click on customer. And if you even want to see what are the products that he sold, you click on product. So very easy to do. You have your custom reports. So that's something that you see in the V14. What's the integration about? I'll show you. With this specific search, you can now insert it into a spreadsheet. You click on it, you confirm, and we give it a name. So we started from the sales application. We can do it with POs, you can do it with opportunities in the CRM, you can do it even with manufacturing orders from the MRP application, or with your warehouse management module for some reports as well. I'm just going to give it a name, so Dublin 2022. You can star it if it's an important spreadsheet. And now that we have done this, we can simply go back in our document application, and we have a workspace with all the spreadsheets of the company. Okay. Once again, you can also have sub workspaces. That's easy to do. This particular spreadsheet also has the chatter and everything that I showed you before. If we were to go into the spreadsheet, we can make our own column, because I was telling you about the commissions. So if we have here one column for the commissions, and we have our calculation. I'm just going to pick something very random. So let's say this multiplied by this. Just an example. What's really cool with this, of course, is the more that people will sell, especially here, if we take James, for example, if he sells something next week, if he sells something next month, all the information gets into the spreadsheet. And then you get also the update of the commissions, which is live. So that's really cool too as well. But that's it for the demonstration. Once again, if you have, if you want to see something else after the partner speech, just come to me. We can have a live demo. And then, last but not least, I want to say Gref Mila Mahagot. It's okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Now, again, we will now go through a couple of, I would say, topics that we think could be of interest to you. Again, if you feel that nothing is covered here that you wanted to cover, we'll obviously all be available afterwards to have a chat about it. But here, we're first, obviously, a quick reminder that what Kilian showed is, I would say, a mix of our standout modules and some features that are either new to the version 15 or features that we thought would be of interest. Obviously, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've got our partners here who can basically build around the base platform of Odoo whatever is needed to fit your needs, and also an app store with over 20,000 apps developed by independent vendors that are supported in time by these vendors also. Now, as you've all seen here and known about Odoo, what we feel is obviously the best value in the software is the integration, right? Is the seamless transfer of information from one app to the other. Now, something that I feel is a bit underrated at Odoo is the intuitive nature and the ease of use. We've seen specifically in the last couple of years that ease of use and thinking about the employees' well-being in general is a more and more, say, discussed topic and a more important topic to discuss being an owner of a company. And so here in our R&D, in the feedback that we as Odoo employees and daily users give to our developers, any new feature, any new app, obviously functionality will be the main, I would say, topic to be discussed by our R&D, but there will always be a very, very big focus on the ease of use and making the customer journey as easy as possible, which is why in what Kilian showed you, for example, going from one app to another, from a contact to a sale to a purchase order, will relatively always be very similar in terms of layout. That's really to ensure that you don't really see it, you're going from one app to another. Obviously now in terms of scalability, also the fact that it's modular based enables you to basically start with what you want, what you feel is your immediate need, and then scale gradually. If you're a small business starting up, then your software will gradually evolve with you and how your company evolves. If you're a more mature company and you feel that you don't want to go into this what we call big bang approach and you feel you've got needs that are properly identified, you can start with a couple of apps, and then should you see a new need arises, you simply download another one which will be automatically integrated. Now, something that's quite important also to talk about are our two editions. Now, when Odoo started, it was not Odoo, it was called OpenERP. And what OpenERP did for a solid 5 or 6 years was to release a piece of software called Odoo Community, completely open source, completely free. At that time, Odoo was more of a service provider, providing services for customers and companies who needed more functionality and new process to be adapted. Now, in 2009, the business model changed and Odoo Enterprise was introduced. The difference here is that Odoo Enterprise has much larger functionalities than Odoo Community, but most importantly, it is supported by us as the editor and our official local partners. Now, Odoo itself will always keep releasing a community edition on a yearly basis. Every year around October, we release a new version, a new enterprise version, and a new community version. The reason we do that is because the open source nature is really what enabled Odoo to grow as a company. Without the 50,000 Odoo enthusiasts that communicate daily on our forums and other platforms, it would simply not be what it is today. So our founder is extremely, I would say, takes a very high importance on that, on the open source nature of the platform also. So it will always be distributed, but it's really, as the name says, to be distributed to the community of Odoo enthusiasts who will themselves build more apps, identify feedbacks for us, also the security gaps that we haven't thought of. So it's something that's really important to us. Then, like I said here, we've got the enterprise version, which is what we call the professional version, with all of the services supported by Odoo, such as bug fixing, obviously hosting if needed, guaranteed SLAs, and the same on our partner side. Now, a couple of examples here would be that the most, I would say, classic example is the accounting. So in the community version, you will be able to obviously generate sales orders, create your invoices, and post them to a journal. What you will be able to do, for example, is generate a full VAT report to send out to HMRC or any other governmental institutions. Now, quick word on the different implementation methodologies. You see here, we've got Kellyanne here, who is part of what we call at Odoo the direct sales department, where Odoo, as the editor, will also play the integrator, the service provider for that project, right? Now, Odoo itself has quite strict criteria as to the projects we take on. The number one, I would say, criteria is that the customer adheres to our specific methodology, right? Number two will be based on the scope. So Odoo does only out of the box. Odoo can develop extra features to a certain limit, but something, for example, that we will never do as the editor is to connect Odoo to a third-party software. That is typically what our local partners do on a daily basis, and so we really try and keep that standard out-of-the-box Odoo approach. We've then got what's called Odoo MMT. Now, Odoo has and will always be aimed towards SMEs, but we've realized, and we've been getting requests from corporate structures of a certain size that are also willing to modernize their ERP, whether it's on the cloud-based approach, whether they want something cheaper, easier to use. And so we've developed a very specific methodology for these customers. It's still growing, so it's really not, I would say, one of the main approaches that are used. And then we've got our local partners. Now, local partners basically have the total freedom to develop around Odoo. So they can take out-of-the-box projects, they can take much more complex projects also. And a partner in an Odoo project will be the service provider. So Odoo, as the editor, will always provide access to the software itself, and the partner takes on the project when it comes to services, pre-project services, implementation, and post-project support also. Again, they will obviously be available soon to be on stage for any questions you may have for them. Now, I'm going to invite Kevin on stage, Rohit from Target Integrations, and Kevin from Numla.
I introduce up here, right? I like here because everybody else is here. Go for it. Thank you. Is this on? Want it?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of Numla, we're delighted to be part of this event and to be back here in person again. It's been 3 years since we've all got in a room to discuss ERP. My name is Kevin Barry. I'm the CEO of Numla. Also with me today is my colleague Abrar Zafar, who's our CTO, and we have some of our customers here as well who want to give some insights later. So Numla in 60 seconds. That's what I'm going to do in respect. So we are Odoo partners. James has explained what partners do, and for over 30 years we've been providing integrated ERP, HR and e-commerce solutions and support, not only in Ireland but in Saudi Arabia, San Francisco, Canada, to name a few. Our company comprises of 43 team members. We're cross-functional, technical and project management roles. Our customers are long-term partners where we provide not only the implementation but the ongoing support and we grow with them as they grow their business. How can we help you? Really, putting it simply, we transform your business visions into realities. We look forward to speaking with you after the presentation downstairs, and we are going to give out some contact details, and we welcome any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. What?
Thank you. Target integration in 60 seconds. So a journey of 14 years to fit it into 16 seconds is what James has asked us to do. So target integration was started in a small office in Fairview, not far from here, in 2008, with the view that we'll be able to provide business insights to businesses. So we have always focused on reports, analytics on a regular basis. We are integrating new BI channels into Odoo. One of our favorite one has been Power BI and Google Data Studio, which are integrated into Odoo as well. And don't forget, one of the best tool which hasn't been presented today is Google Spreadsheet. So we have done some extensive work on reporting, and we've done some extensive work on using Odoo's Spreadsheet, which look very similar to Google Spreadsheets, but you can run any sort of reports from it. And yes, that's what the power is. Putting in data into any system is easy, but taking the reports out is where the most of the power exists. Quite a number of my team members are here. Target integration at this stage is 100+ companies spread across the globe. But yes, headquarters sits in Ireland. We deliver quite a lot of projects from Dublin into UK, into US, and into India as well. So that's target integration in a nutshell.
Thank you very much, Roy. Now, we'll go through, like I said, a couple of topics that we feel could be of interest to the audience. Now, after that, we'll have a customer journey here experience, and then we'll have a Q&A session. So, should you have any questions, please hold on to them while we do the partner call. Now, first question, quite generic. What, according to you guys, is Odoo's main strength?
Well, from our side, it's customization. We would have a lot of requests. One example, on post in Ireland. So for companies that have large volumes of packages, the old way of doing it was creating manual spreadsheets, uploading them onto the on-post site, and basically running labels. And everything was manual. So we've created an API with on-post, and all that's available through Odoo. Delivery of slips, the packages, labels, everything's printed through Odoo, and all the tracking comes back through Odoo as well. So that was one example of a pain point, and this was a customer sending out over 500 parcels per day. So that's one example, customization.
Yeah, good one, Kevin. I would probably go, there is another strength as well, which is not customizing it, delivering it out of the box. So effectively, you pick up Odoo, and quite a lot of our customers sit in this space of SMEs, small to medium-sized companies. The biggest challenge is once you customize the system, it's difficult to upgrade it every year. And we recommend, okay, not every year, but definitely go for a version upgrade every 2 years at least. So if you're using version 14, upgrade it to 16. If you're using 13, upgrade it to 15, and so on and so forth. You can't do it if you're using a heavily customized version. For that reason, we go quite a lot of AutoStudio, quite a lot of workflows out of the box. Yes, create custom fields, but use out of the box functionality as much as you can. And yes, customization is great because it is an open source software at the end of the day. Allows you to customize significantly, but use it to the minimum.
I suppose just to elaborate on that, so you customize where there's a business case. So for this company, the return on investment was labor, and they were able to strip down the staff in the warehouse by a couple of team members, and they take the automation is in there. Now, the way we would approach customization, we build it as an app. So it's a third-party app, so we will upgrade that app with each version. So the business case is always, is the return on investment? Normally, you will only customize for that reason.
Now, that's a good point. In terms of, I would say, methodology, could you, I would say, quickly describe your, I would say, classic implementation methodology in a couple of words?
So we use two methodologies on a regular basis. One for small businesses, which is of course based on Odoo's Quick Start. So very nicely use the same term called Quick Start Implementation Methodology. And the other one is standard implementation. That's the traditional way of implementing ERP systems. You go through a discovery phase. We spend a few days working with our customers, looking at their processes, understanding how they do things, and then come up with the a la carte menu of these are all the changes that you need. These are all the functional changes. These are all the customizations you may need. And then on the basis of that, give them a ballpark figure of this is what the whole project will cost. And now we decide whether you're going time and material or you're going fixed price. So depending on the size, complexity of the project, these are the two methodologies we use on a regular basis. Kevin?
So we would use mainly, for the last couple of years, we found that financing in ERP projects, year one, be under no illusion it's going to be an investment. So we've come up with a model over the last couple of years where we work on a 12-month contract with a company. The reason being, people go on holidays. Now we have COVID absences. You have delays in the project. Failed ERPs come from, it's two sides. We have a project manager, as you would have, but we also need a project manager within the company where they are the first point of contact. They are train the trainer. The business requirements are fully identified. And our pricing model, and we looked at different models of pricing, but the pricing is based on what apps you're trying to implement. Are you going with inventory? Are you going with sales? So we know then, and we expect, a lot of companies want a fixed price. So yes, we do a fixed price, but we ensure that customizations are a minimum. But we like to see by the time we finish, actually we don't finish with our customers, we end up being their tech department after. And that's why you can't just walk. I could be wrong here, but we can't just walk away. Like, we have implemented the software for you. You don't have to employ IT people. So we are now your IT department, and IT person maybe 50, 60,000 a year. Well, you would not be paying that to a partner to keep you supporting, actually with more team members and more resources. So I think the long-term future is that for companies, SMEs, rather than investing in hiring IT people, to go to ERP and pick a partner or direct and have them support long term. Don't just say, I'm going to do this myself. I think that's going to be explained pretty soon. Like, you can self-install, but you will not get the value out of it, and you will end up with more than likely a failed project.
The train-the-trainer approach obviously is central to the quick start. That ties into the next question, because obviously you see it as having a key stakeholder in the end user company is extremely important. What other factors would you say would influence the success of an Odoo implementation? Kind of do's and don'ts.
The do's and don'ts.
Yeah, you're thinking what I'm talking about. Well, no, the do's and don'ts. The do's anyway, firstly, is make sure you identify your project. Make sure you know what you want, what's your end goal, what's your business vision. Get your requirements more or less right. Don't expect that you're going to write all your requirements on the first draft. So that's why we always use agile implementation, because, okay, we picked a guide, but 3 months in we say, okay, maybe there's a better way of doing this, because now we're after finding out the benefits of ERP. So you can't stick to something, a script, and say, okay, we want to change now. Is that going to cost more? So the agile implementation means that you're moving from step to step to step, depending on the length of the contract you pick. The certain don'ts is if you have a complex business and you want to do it in a short time frame, I would say that's a big no-no. It's very hard to just say, I'm going to switch over to ERP and be up and running in a month. It's going to fail.
There's an analogy we use on a regular basis. So there are 3 aspects of every project: quality, price, and the last one is time. And if you could only have 2, which one are you ready to let go of? And you decide what type of implementation would you like to have on the basis of these 3 factors. So you pick up these 3 factors, you define in my own head, I'm going to go, yes, I want the best quality, I want the cheapest price. You go, okay, but then yes, you'll have to give up on time, which means that yes, it's going to be a lengthy project. Probably doing this yourself gets into that, cheapest project space. And then you go, okay, I want the best quality, and I want the best, quickest implementation, you go, yes, the third figure is. So do's and don'ts come from, don't expect that you will be able to control all three of them. You'll have to let go of one. Don'ts, the biggest don't is, of course, don't try to do a big implementation in one go, go live immediately going, yes, we are going to transform the whole organization immediately. No, that's why we are called partners. It's not just we are Odoo partners, we are partners with our customers on a regular basis. We partner, thankfully, touch wood, we still have our first customer from 2008, 14 years. Does that mean their project was finished? Wasn't finished? No, their project was finished year one. But we kept on improving it on a regular basis. New features, new department, new version. The journey goes on. And yes, take it as a journey.
Thank you very much. And one last question for the road here before we have a customer coming on stage. What would you say are, I would say, the main improvements that you see in your customers using Odoo after X months or years after the implementation? What is the biggest, I would say, change that you see, that you hear from them?
Less stress. I think that's what I can summarize it as. It's less stress. They can sleep well without taking any sleeping pills.
I go a little more actually. The big thing is the increased efficiencies. Look, labour costs for any business, SMEs, everyone across the board, we want to use our labour efficiently. If we can look after our employees, have less employees, pay them a little bit more because they're all looking for a little bit more, we can do that by automation. And for implementations of ERP, you always start with your return on investment. And all the partners, Odoo Belgium, we can all look at your current business pain points. We can put a cost with it. And we can justify the cost of your project by actually just doing that bit of homework, looking at spend time with your business requirements. Everyone knows the pain points in their business. Everyone knows how hard it is to move product from A to B or to get that next sale. And that's what you're focusing on. So your results then and your stress is a big thing. I mean, there's people in this room that I know of that their days are shorter because of automation and efficiencies. And Odoo is getting stronger and stronger, and each version that comes out, most definitely the tools are being added, maybe a bit quicker maybe, but so certainly I think that's stress, but the financial aspect is huge. I mean, there is examples I can share with you, but there is financial examples which are considerable in savings.
Thank you very much. Going to call from Target Integrations, get it back from
Thank you very much. Thank you, James. Thank you all.
Yeah, then you can have someone here, and then we'll have Roads afterwards.
Hello everyone, my name is Johnny, or Jonathan, if you want to be formal. I work for a company called Parnell's. We are a third generation tyre, wheel and caster company. So we sell everything that basically is round and rolls, apart from car ones, so don't ask me about car tyres, please. So we're heavy duty, specialised heat treated ones. We do a lot of stuff into manufacturers and stuff like that. We have about 17 people on our team. We've been using Odoo for the last 7 years, I believe. We started actually using Odoo in version 9 and tried to implement it ourselves, which went really, really badly. We tried to have Sage running at the same time as Odoo and use accountancy for Sage, but Odoo for everything else, and then try and get them to talk to each other, and it just didn't work. I ended up actually having a lovely project with Rohit to try and fix it. So I've actually experienced it both of them. So then after that we moved to version 10. We were on that for about a year, and we kind of realised that we probably couldn't take the system anywhere further, because we wanted to try and customize stuff. So we sell on a good few marketplaces. So we sell on eBay, Amazon, and a fair amount of other ones into the EU. And we had 2 people just doing kind of data entry for those orders that were coming on eBay and Amazon. We also then had 2 people also doing labels for couriers into courier systems, and then putting that information back into eBay and Amazon. So we wanted to try and find a easier automated way of doing this. So we ended up partnering with Numna, and they developed connectors for us that basically moved 4 people away. That one person now can manage the whole system by itself, really, because we automated orders coming in, we've automated tracking going out, we've automated connections with DPD, DHL, GLS. The labels come automatically into Odoo, print off automatically as well. The lads in the warehouse click one button and everything basically is done for them. So we have obviously been able to keep a small staff, but increase our turnover and efficiency just by looking at where our pain points are and automating those. We've put in other automations for the lads who would be picking in the warehouse. It tells them where to put stuff, it tells them where to pick stuff from. So when an order comes in, it automatically comes downstairs. Usually the sales lads might not even see it anymore, because we have payment portals as well that link directly into it on mark. As soon as it's paid, it gets marked, confirmed. Then it goes down to the lads. The lads will then literally print once. It gives them everything they need, and then they are also told exactly where to go to pick and pack it. Some of the current projects we're currently working on is we're trying to open up the customer portal and have an online website that customers can go in and try and basically give the information that's in Odoo to themselves. So like statements, invoices, tracking information, that sort of stuff. So that's currently one that we're currently working on. Some of the issues, I suppose, I found with Odoo while working with it is some of the modules probably are missing slight functionality. So we've partnered with Numla, and we've actually put in a few customizations to try and get Odoo to a point where with our like inventory management, we had to bring it up because we have 4 units full of stock, and there's multiple places for multiple stock. We also, with wheels, one wheel could go into 5 different products. So you're not tracking stock on one product, you're tracking stock on 5 different products that all kind of can interchange. So we had to kind of obviously partner with someone to try and get through those pain points of figuring out what was the best way of being able to track our stock. Before we went onto Odoo, we had 3 different systems and then a ton of Excel sheets that obviously were manually edited, and that caused issues because someone wouldn't close it or save it, and then all of a sudden our stock take was completely off. So Odoo, being able to manage that has obviously helped us hugely. Stuff that we've loved obviously which has been repeated numerous times tonight, is the customization of it, the ease of use. Like, it's easy to navigate. Like, we've had 2 new employees over the last 2 years, and they've come in and with very little training can get pretty much anywhere in Odoo without having to explain where you go. It's very easy. It uses icons. Everything's linked to another section of Odoo. So if you're in sales, you can easily get to inventory. You can easily get to the spec sheets that we have in there, which has all the customer data and stuff like that. So, like, in conclusion, Odoo's allowed a family company grow hugely without having to hire in tons of more people, and that's due to Odoo's ease of use, as well as partnering with someone who understands Odoo and who we've been able to explain what we wanted to get to. They were able to then develop a solution that actually helped us get there. So that's pretty much mine in a nutshell. If you want to talk to me afterwards, I'll talk to you a bit more about it in detail.
Thanks, everyone. Take that.
So today we have Waqar Khan. Waqar Bhai has been a user of Odoo since it was Odoo version 11. So we started this as a brand called Wedge International, which is importing. So Waqar, would you like to tell us a little bit about Wedge International first?
Wedge International, it's basically a fruit and veg distribution around across the country, and also we import from not only from UK but many other countries around the world, and it's basically distribution of fruit and perishable.
And of course, at the same time, while Waqar has taken his time out today, he has been telling me for the last few minutes that he has a delivery of mangoes which is coming in at the Dublin airport, which needs to be picked up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it
so,
needs to be picked up,
so tell us your journey with Odoo. How has the journey been?
It's been almost over 8 to 9 years. We initially started with OpenERP, the old version, and then we needed to upgrade, which was Odoo, which was the best thing, because it has all the features. It's on the cloud, accessibility, because we could be anywhere in the world purchasing, or we can access them. So it's been good.
Yeah, you're using it for your sales purchases. I made a couple of slides to help as well. So in general, in terms of what Wedge International is using Odoo for, the departments which are using at the moment?
It's basically it's for the purchase, for the sales, and for accounting also, and so that's the main ones.
What's the best feature that you like about Odoo?
The best feature, well, I guess that is mainly, the way it has all the modules and all the features that it has, whatever you need, basically. The expansion of a new version of Odoo, that's there, you can basically everything you need, you have it there. So,
how has been the journey? Like, he started using OpenERP, which was an old version. I remember it being installed on a cloud server at that time, but it was a very clunky version.
It was good because before that we were doing manually a lot of things, so that changed a lot of things for us. But eventually, when we upgraded to Odoo, obviously it was a bigger expanded, obviously made things a lot more easier. So it's been good.
How has been the support and everything from Target Integration?
Support, the best, I'd say. any day, it could be anywhere, and you pop up with a problem, but Target Integration has always acted at the end, very fast and quick, and the problem always solved, no matter where you are. So it's been good.
Thank you. We won't hold you too long. Thank you for the support, and thank you for coming over at short notice.
Well, that brings us to an end now. In terms of questions, is there anything that you would like to go through, either for our integrating partners, for ourselves? Anything that we can clarify, help you? Nothing? No? Fantastic. Then we've got food and drinks downstairs, right?
I'll pick you off with one which has been asked quite a number of times by a lot of customers of ours. Odoo is on a SaaS, Odoo is on a per user per month basis.
Yeah.
But how does it scale up when the number of users go up?
In what sense?
You're talking about 1,000 users in a company. What do you do then?
It just gradually adds up now. Let's be honest. You saw in my slides that there was a bit about pricing. You'll be the first ones to know that we are revamping it internally, and so we'll be announcing the new pricing structure at our Odoo Experience event in Brussels on the 8th of October. But for the moment, it's based on a user and module, and eventually hosting or not. So you basically select a base number of users in your base apps, and you simply upgrade and add users bit by bit. Obviously, if you're on a 3-year contract with us, and after 2 years you add a user or whatever the number, the billing will obviously be for the remainder of the contract. So with Odoo, it's always going to be pay as you go and pay for what you use. If we're really looking into flexibility because of seasonal workers coming in, for example, or interns, etc., then we've got monthly contracts which are much more flexible, where you can basically really pay as you go for your real consumption, whether in terms of users or apps. Yes, sir.
Just in terms of the accounting budget, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a librarian, but I'm always told that there's something funny about Irish VAT rates. So maybe Kevin or Rowan.
I think that is probably a good question for.
I can take it because we have our accountant is actually Irish based, and it's in a number of installations around we use the company as well, we use it for that. So there is no problem. A lot of it was the earlier versions, the output, the reporting output. So it was a format report, so it wasn't a big deal. But certainly we have an Irish accountant based in Cork. If anyone wants to query that, I think the best thing is talk to an accountant, and I'm sure you have accountants, talk to an accountant, use it. It's quite a few big companies using the accounting here, based on Ireland, and they're international companies. So it's not a problem. And actually, there is a company Recruitment that we're working, so they're actually switching from QuickBooks to Odoo accounting. So no problem there. Yeah.
I can just give you one more hint there as well. The original, so yes, OpenERP being there, it was an open source software, and there is a module available in the App Store, which is called Irish localization for Odoo. So we originally wrote it back in the old days. You don't need it anymore. That's the good news. You don't need it anymore because all the features have been built into Odoo at this stage. So the code base of Odoo, which uses Irish localization now, it's there. All you need is configuring correct GL codes and set it like that. And yes, some reports are still needed. For an example, RTD reports and things like those. But some of the partners would have the templates available that you can very easily pick up upon.
And the other thing for the banking, customers have a lot of transactions. Jonathan, you're using the automatic connection to the banks. Yeah. So the bank reconciliation and that. So it has improved greatly. There was, if you're going for the last 2 or 3 versions. Yeah, 2 versions of the huge amounts of increase last couple of years just because of the improvements at the start. A lot of it was running over your phone reports and trying to piece it together. All of that's been improved in the last couple of years.
What if you're using subscription software like GoCardless for collecting direct debits? Will it integrate with Zapier, or are you actually implement that into your accounting?
You've asked the question already. The answer is yes, there are third-party apps available. Now, we also say at the same time is that you can actually use the SEPA report from Odoo, SCP SEPA report from Odoo, and upload it into your bank. Your direct debit will automatically be brought into your bank, and then yes, it can be reconciled using the automatic feeds from the bank as well. So you don't really need GoCardless, but if you need it, there is a third-party app available.
To actually collect the payment?
Yes, to collect the payment.
There are so many payment requirements, obviously, they're out there already. And I mean, the way things have gone in the last 2 years is more and more coming stream, because obviously everything was online and e-commerce. Even the e-commerce in Odoo has really improved in the last, certainly in the last version.
It was a focus for.
It was a focus, because we would have said there would have been some, admittedly, there were performance issues, other issues, but certainly that has improved greatly. So we have a couple of customers currently switching from the e-commerce. Because the problem is the Magentos and the connectors, like if you're using Odoo, the best way to use it if you're starting out is have everything in one place. So you don't have to worry about, like, you connectors, there's always going to be a delay in transformation of information. There's always going to be a new release of Magento.
then the connector isn't updated, then you're down, you're not connected yet. But there is a couple of companies that are connected, and the easy way forward, I would say, Odoo e-commerce. You use Odoo, switch over, and it's seamless.
Just issues with, will I give you the mic?
I don't know.
I'm just doing the start implementation at the moment. Issues with Internet of Things boxes for connecting printers, point of sale printers, this type of thing. It's based on the Raspberry Pi and you can't get the IoT boxes for love nor money. What is the solution in that regard?
Abraham, do you want to take that? You or Ron? Abraham is okay, Jonathan's an answer here as well.
So I think Odoo is very flexible. We have integrated with number of IoT devices because in fact there's open source, the Python and all that. So I think there's no issue with any connectivity that we have. So if you have any specific, maybe you can.
There's just issues about PO sale printers and things like that. If you want to.
Printers.
But I know we support Epson. I think Epson is supported through.
We had a similar thing where we were looking at the IoT boxes and stuff like that. In the end, we actually just bought a third-party app, which is from a company called FinTech, and it's called Print Direct App. And it links in with all Zebra printers, all normal printers. It's got a huge capability, and you can put automations like we automated all of our Zebra printers within all our labels or barcodes. The point of sale, the printer, the point of sale, we all printed it all through that one.
I haven't seen that. I haven't been looking yet to see what's.
Yeah, well, I was looking at it for a while. Yeah.
Also, with things like payment terminals for cards, getting the value transmitted to the card terminal.
Yeah, I'm currently looking into that myself. There's a couple of ones that are like already integrated through different apps. There's some that obviously you need to develop code for. I think currently at the moment the Clover one is the best one. So we went with AOB and we're currently upgrading to Clover ones because they use,
But there is an XML feed available from Odoo which feeds into the payment terminals. And yes, there is a Python library available which pulls in the data and pushes into the printers as well. So you can actually do it either by buying a third-party app and or using a custom library.
And we have also done integration with Evernote. Like what everything that's there has been, it's been, I suppose, your requirements, come to something and speak about the requirements. Certainly for local partners in every country would have addressed all the questions that you're answering. So, yeah. And integrations, again, it's for we did it for Evernote because the company in question had a lot of POS sites around the country. So it was a huge bonus to them to be able to just ring up the sale and have it come up in the family farm. Because you're talking to different equipment every other day. So the Epson printers that you mentioned, the Epson printers are around for 20, 30 years of the C printer. So everything works, they work with everything. And a 20-year-old printer still works with everything. There's a lot of new technology coming in, a lot of new devices coming in. I think we looked at one today with the same reading standards as Zebra scanners, and instead of being 1200, they're 200. So like there's a lot of new equipment coming in, and it's already talking to what we standard basically.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
I suppose very specific for accounting firms. Let's say if I run and own an accounting firm and I want all my clients to slowly adopt Odoo, given the capabilities shared today, how do we get an overview, like a bureau license view? For example, Sage or competitors like Surf, which are local firms over here. We use Surf in our firm, and we use Surf and Dext together with it just to digitalize all the receipts and we give this logins. So it's much easier for us that if we get the bank feeds, if we get all the clients on one portal, I go into the client, functionalities like bank feeds where I can match. So are those facilities available back? I mean, I'm talking about 8-9 months ago, there was an PSD issue and we were not able to import bank feeds when I inquired about Odoo. And so was Zero having the same problem, but Surf allowed us to do that, and that's what helped us.
It's actually a very good question. We do, and something we'll definitely talk about afterwards. We do offer a specific, I would say, a program for fiduciary and accounting companies, whereby you will have a view of all of your customers' databases and therefore all of their financials. It can be integrated to documents and OCR, so it scans automatically. It creates it all via an email template, and you will have what you could call a super view, an admin view, where you can directly connect to that customer's database, work with activities like Kilian showed for VAT reports, whatever, and directly perform the activities there instead of logging in, logging out, and going back. So you'll have that main view, and you'll be able to basically do your daily work for sure. But it's something definitely worth talking about more in detail, just in 5 minutes for sure.
That's no problem. Just on the side of VAT related stuff, what the gentleman there shared, and these kind of functionality will be more key for us. So in that regard, we'll have a chat later. Thanks.
For sure. Unfortunately, or fortunately, food has been served downstairs and drinks. We are running out of time. So thank you very much for your patience. Anything you need, we'll definitely use.
So just for everybody, the food is downstairs. So as you go out, on the right hand side, the stairs are going down, and that's where food and drinks have been served now. Thank you. If you want, you can have a look at the
predominantly in my code, my motto, I think it all depends on the trigger. We ask for customers to go in a specific page, and they submit it. And as soon as you submit a ticket, you get into so we're running one and you can see what's
Just turn this off. So